Can we look forward by picking up on one incident today? At 0-0, Kovacic ran into the penalty area and appeared to be infringed, appeared to have his shirt pulled, still got his shot away. And everyone, all the players wanted a penalty and the referee didn't give it. Is there a reluctance to give penalties for deliberate half fouls that stop a player scoring? Shouldn't that be a penalty?
Well, I suppose it's the balance that the referees have got to strike. There's, on the one hand, there was an argument that they were giving penalties that were too soft, but on the other hand, then maybe the flip side to that is you don't get the ones that you're talking about. So, yeah, it's a tricky one. I've got enough problems myself without worrying about what the referees' problems are, to be honest with you. But we obviously wanted a penalty in that situation.
Alex Aljo, Premier League Productions.
Hi.
Just looking ahead to the Nottingham Forest game, how wary do you have to be of a side fighting to stay in the Premier League, desperate for points and everything?
You always have to be wary in the Premier League. You know, you can't say on the one hand that it's the greatest league in the world and then think there's easy games. There aren't. I think Forest got a fantastic result against Liverpool, I think, before the break. I have a huge respect for Steve Cooper and the job that he's done there. He's a tremendous, fantastic coach. So they'll be ready. They'll be the atmosphere will be hostile, I'm pretty sure, because they've been back in the Premier League for first year for a long time. So every game, especially Chelsea come into town, is a big game for them. So they'll be motivated and they'll have the quality and they'll be fighting for the points. So we have to be ready.
It's the first game of a new year. What do you hope 2023 has in store for Chelsea?
Well, we want to keep improving. That's a simple answer. We've had a challenging, I would say, some ups and some downs in terms of the previous year, which is normal, I think, in any football club. But we want to try and stabilise and we want to try and improve and make our supporters happy, because we know that before the break, the last few weeks, it wasn't nice for us. Results suffered and performances weren't where we'd like them to be, so we have to do better than that.
Adrian and Gary.
Graham, you also had to deal with Reece James before. You had about one spell where you had to try and find a solution to deal with that. Can you just talk about how difficult that is, trying to reshape your team to cope without somebody like him, and almost what you learned from that first spell of having to deal with that in case you have to then do it again for another extended period of time?
Well, I mean, if you go back to the Newcastle game, we had no Kepa, no Reece, no Wesley, no Ben Chilwell. We lost Mark Cucurella overnight with illness. We lost Ruben Loftus-Cheek after 2 minutes. No Kante. Lost Aspie after 20 minutes. No Raheem Sterling. And that was just the period that we were in, you know. So, and we've still got quite a few guys unavailable. But that's the challenge of the multiple competitions, the multiple games in a short space of time, with the World Cup coming up. I mean, the one thing that I reflected on over the time is just when Ben Chilwell, for example, gets injured, and the effect that has. You know, everyone else is looking. You know, could I be next? You know, could I miss the World Cup? It's difficult. But again, it's not. These aren't. Sounds like I'm making excuses. I'm not. I'm just telling you what I think of the situation, and we have to deal with it. That's what it is. The break hasn't been a positive one for us. I could have made lots of excuses if the result hadn't gone our way, because we had 4 players for the first 2 weeks. They're dripping back in. The break that you think you have to work with the team is not there because you haven't got the players, etc., etc. But as you said, there's no. You can't make those excuses. You just got to win, and we did tonight, so that's good.
So some of those names that you mentioned from the Newcastle game obviously are back and available. So in terms of dealing with Reece being out, just having a few more on their back, just give you a few more options, and maybe it might be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
To deal with.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I think we played the Milan game. We had Reece. I think N'Golo was getting close. We were thinking he could be available, and then there's an injury at the back end of his rehab, and all of a sudden we lose Reece, and you think, well, we've gone from quite a healthy position to a not so healthy position. And our job now is to try and get as many people back as we can. It's been a real tough period. as challenging as has been, I would say, in my time as a coach. But we're at Chelsea, and people don't want to hear those reasons, stroke excuses. You've got to get on with it, and we've got to try your best to find the answers.
Okay, 2 more and we're done. We'll do Adam and then Tom to finish.
I just want to ask you about Zakaria. He didn't play too much in the first half of the season, but he's come to Ben and has done fairly well. Do you feel he's going to be a player who maybe steps up in the second half of the season now he's adapted and he's going to integrate into what he's doing?
Yeah, I think Dennis, whenever he's played, has not let us down. Played in the Champions League against Zakaria, I think, and scored. So he's shown his quality. I've said before, had to be patient. We had some good options in the midfield, and you have to remember we didn't lose, I think, for the first few games. So it was hard to for him to get that opportunity. But he's remained professional and worked really hard, and that's why he gets his rewards tonight with I thought a decent performance and a contribution to a win.
Can I just check, is Matteo and Hakim going to be back for Forest after what's the situation with Mendy?
Both of those guys will be back. Mendy, we're not sure. We'll see how he is over the next few days. He's had a problem with his bone here that he picked up at the World Cup, so still a little bit of time.
Last question, Tom.
Graham, you just listed all of the injuries that you've had to contend with here, and a few of them are the setbacks with Wesley, Reece and Ngolo. Can you kind of put your finger on why Chelsea have endured all these injuries? Is it just bad luck, or...?
No, I don't think it's... Well, there's a little bit of bad luck. I don't think it's completely... I don't think you should completely throw it to something that you can't do anything about. There's an element of luck, of course, and then there'll be other things, like I said, that happen. But that's for us to try to learn from and get better with. But again, it's been a challenging season. I don't know how pre-season was, so I wasn't here, so I can't comment. And and then, yeah, sometimes you have these... I think Liverpool had a period similar earlier on in the season. It can happen, especially when, like I said, you play in so many games in a short space, and without knowing the full extent of pre-season, it's hard for me to comment.